Okay, so the new season has just begun and so did the Pagani Utopia special event, which I will be looking into today, all the way from the cars required to whatever rewards it includes and which are my plans about the main car. This is the Pagani Utopia, so let's begin with today's video. Alright, so as I said in one of my most recent videos where, I basically made a general review of the previous season, I was planning to max out this Pagani Utopia one way or another, not because its stats call for my attention, since, I will get into that later, and you guys will be able to see how it's not a massive deal, but basically because, who knows, it may be required at some future special event and I would rather not spend tokens by then. Personally, I have to admit that it's not a car that looks fantastic to my eyes, but if we talk about in-game performance, well, this car has some really nice details. Anyways, it's time to jump straight into the sauce. This is the Pagani Utopia special event requirements. I'm not sure if it was back at the W Motors Like a Neon Edition special event when the special event got reduced in length and stages, or if it was from the last season's Ferrari Stradale rerun special event onwards, but if we have a quick look at this special event, we can see it's 2 weeks long, just like the Stradale event, and has 9 stages, which is not a ton, and well, it's not something necessarily bad, as I explained, since more special events can fit and we don't have to lose rewards as a result of that. Okay, but now let's have a look at the car requirements. At the very first stage, we have a free trial of the Pagani Utopia, which gives us 125 tokens, almost half the tokens we could get from playing the first stage of the Stradale event. But well, at least everyone can get those juicy tokens without having to own a car. On the second stage, we will need a maxed out McLaren Solus GT, which was a Grand Prix car, but has only appeared once, so it's not super common. And one thing I realized is that now in all the stages where you don't need the main car, you get 2 epics from the main car, so that means that if you have all the required cars maxed out, you can get all the epic import parts to gold max the main car, in this case the Pagani Utopia. It's a fact most of you guys are not interested in, but I wanted to point it out since on the all longer special events, you had to play the last rank stage yes or yes in most of the cases in order to get the final epic import parts, even if you had all the cars maxed out. Anyways, if we have a look at the third stage, here we have the toll everyone will likely have to pay in order to progress any further on this special event, since on this stage we will need no more and no less than the Ferrari Daytona SP3, which is the new Elite C-Class car, which will be available at a Grand Prix quite soon. The Daytona, despite it's not a king, it's another Elite C-Class car, which basically means that if you own it, you will have easy tokens from the Elite C-Class event waiting for you just for owning the Daytona. I guess that from this point onwards, everyone understood that this Pagani Utopia special event will be mostly focused for people willing to spend or with big garage, since we only have to look at the fourth stage in order to appreciate how the McLaren 650S GT3 is required to play this stage. This, by the way, is a car I don't own, so yep, I will have to spend big in order to get the epic import pass from this stage, which is not necessarily bad for me since I'm trying to get the McLaren 650 GT3 from the Clash store, and it has been a slow and hard work since I decided to start doing so. Needless to say, if you don't have the 650S, prepare yourself to gamble your tokens on the multipacks, because otherwise your Utopia special event will likely end here. On the following stages, we have another Utopia free stage, this time with another 125 tokens, quite meh, and then a stage featuring the Ferrari F8 Tributo, one of the cars I love the most from this entire game, a lovely choice to have fun in multiplayer, and oh god. There is no way that I will need the Chrysler fully maxed out in order to gold max the Utopia. Oh, for real guys, this car is so bad I didn't even care about its special event, so I will have to lock it and max it out for this special event, which I cannot really guarantee you guys that won't be a cheap fit. Oh god. This event is for true whales only. Unfortunately, I guess I'm not a whale anymore. Maybe a shark whale, which may be smaller but is way cooler in my honest opinion, so you guys must drop your like if you agree. Okay, so the penultimate stage requires the Pagani Utopia max out, where you can get the 6 last epic import parts to max it out, and then the final ranked stage, which I guess I won't play, maybe for the tokens, I'm not sure yet, but we will see. Let me check the progression rewards, and okay, there are 50 tokens which could be relatively easy to obtain for everyone, but yeah, we have the key and the decal, which kinda reminds me of the Apollo Evo one, just looking at the colors and that stuff, but I will be honest guys, this event is not nice. The requirements are quite high even for me, since you need a car which has been available at the Clash store all this time, as well as the Chrysler, which I don't think a lot of people decided to log based on how bad it is, and then the new Daytona SP3, which wasn't released yet, so quite bad, guys. I mean, quite bad. I will max the Utopia for content, as I always do, but I wouldn't recommend any of you guys to spend your tokens on this car, because now I will have a quick look at its performance, even a few races I could do in multiplayer, where everyone can test the Utopia completely maxed out for free. Okay, so the first thing I would like to say about this car is that the acceleration isn't bad. I mean, 81 points is quite alright. The thing is that if you compare it with the Tributo or most of the multiplayer-oriented A-class cars, you will soon realize that at the beginning of some races you will struggle because of this. The top speed is basically the same as the Pagani Utopia BC, not bad, but I mean, it's not top notch either. And the handling is good. I mean, it feels quite good while steering, but the thing that makes this car stand apart from all the other A-class cars we have around this rank is its drift speed. The drift radius isn't bad by any chance, but the drift speed is quite high, and this car can keep a quite good speed in most corners, which definitely makes it quite interesting and a bit unique on its way. Something that I like, but that unfortunately doesn't make it worth to spend a ton of tokens on, since, you know, it's not an elite A-class car and most people are looking for useful multiplayer cars, not cars like this one that despite it can be quite decent, don't get me wrong, I don't think it will be at the level of cars like the Rimac Concept 1, the Valhalla or the Tributo. And I almost forgot about it, but the night efficiency is quite nice, quite solid, I would say. In a nutshell, I would say that the Utopia has all the ingredients to perform decently on multiplayer, even though the acceleration is not god tier, so it's all on the driver's hands, I would say. I have heard from some people who think that the Utopia looks nice, and I'm aware that some people could be considering going for it, and I definitely hate to shatter dreams, but being completely honest, if you lack of a couple of the cards required for this special event, you will have it quite hard to get a golden Pagani Utopia, which is where things start to get spicy regarding performance. But you know, if you desperately want to own the Utopia, then you can make the complex calculation it takes to see at which specific star you need the required cards, so the conditions allow you to progress through the event up to a point where you can unlock the key packs and then try your luck gambling on them. But to everyone else, I would recommend to just gather whatever you can based it on your progress and then skip the event so you can give your tokens a proper use in the future. One way or another, now it's your turn, guys. What do you think about this special event? Will you try to unlock the Utopia or will you try to full max it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, make sure to drop your like and subscribe to not to miss anything about Asphalt 9, because I will see you really soon as usual with much more content. Goodbye, guys.